Hey guys, it's Mike Sorg at Sorgatron, fresh out of PodCamp Pittsburgh here in Pittsburgh, PA at the Mayhem Studios for the Google Hangouty version of the Raw wrap-up. And with me from Poughkeepsie, New York, he's the maddest of the Michaels. He's the maddest Mike. Mad Mike.
All hail the Cosmic King, Sorg!
Oh, forget the main events. Forget the title matches, title for title. Give us the comic book guys. Before we get to that, give me the indie wrestling. IndieWrestling.us has just launched in this past week. Less than a week ago as we're recording this, actually. And it's the new place you guys can go for a lot of the Sorgatron Media productions. And not just that, a lot of friends of Sorgatron Media, Vicious Outcast Wrestling, they're their own thing. Of course, our friends International Wrestling Cartel, who are having a big match coming up of Rhino versus Tommy Dreamer for the IWC belt in a steel cage this weekend at IWCWrestling.com for more information on that. But you can get their first match at Night of the Superstars 4 at IndieWrestling.us. Follow us on social media. Tons of sales going on, celebrating the launch of the site. We're trying to have some fun on there, so we hope you're conversing with us on there. There's a lady most of the time on the other end of that tweeter, by the way. I know how to plug it to the wrestling fans.
Ooh, a lady.
A lady wrestling fan. How about that? And she's actually going to be joining us on the Mayhem show this week. So,
Sorg, lady wrestling fans don't exist. That's just madness.
They're just a myth, like fairies and
John Cena clean losses for championships.
Exactly. So no, I don't want to get to that. So let's get to that. The thing we're excited. We're comic book nerds, right? So of course we're into the Stardust Wade Barrett thing, which I think was they perfectly pitched it tonight. They had to do something different. So they had the big connection with everybody and setting up the match last week on Raw. But we had and I posted the picture of the old Rogues Gallery from the Batman 1966 movie with all of them together. That's what it feels like as a superhero team up, calling them the Lords of
Darkness.
The Lords of Darkness, and Wade Barrett getting his supervillain upgrade vest thing, shoulder pads, eat your heart out Road Warriors, because this is even more badass.
Eat your heart out Kevin Nash.
I really hope, and this is probably something just going into SummerSlam, and that's fine as a segment. We can look back at SummerSlam and say that was amazing going into this. But I really hope that this is a continuing thing with these two coming out of SummerSlam. Maybe not a feud with. I just want them maybe as a tag team or something. Barrett is the most interesting he's been. And he's had a freaking crown for how many months? That seems like a natural for him. It's been so much fun. And again, I tweeted, this is the moment. This is the moment. Recognize this moment. Because later on in his career, whatever happens with him, good, bad, or indifferent, this is the moment where you're going to look back to and say, yeah, that's where Stardust was really it. Mm-hmm. That's where you're like, oh, he got his daddy's gift of gab.
I want to know when he learned telekinesis.
There's that too.
I need to, because he made that thing magically rise. Like, I mean, and I know this is all comic booky stuff, and that's fine. But you know what? Let's turn the entire tag division into a comic. Like,
it almost needs to be. It's colorful enough, isn't it?
The primetime players are the heroes for hire. I mean, I'm okay with that. You could have the Lucha Dragons be like Alpha Flight. Like, come on, we can workshop this whole thing. And the New Day are like the Thunderbolts or something like that. They all used to be good guys, and now they're all bad guys. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Although the New Day, I don't think New Day are going to be technically bad guys for much longer, the way the crowd's reacting to them lately. But anyways, so that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. There's actually a debate going on the Facebook page. And I think maybe we'll touch on this a little bit more as we talk about SummerSlam going into it on Wrestling Mayhem show tomorrow night. But, they're kind of I don't like my celebs. I don't like the chocolate in my peanut butter, as in the celebs in my pro wrestling. And again, I go back to, it's like, well, we wouldn't have pro wrestling as we didn't have now if we didn't have Mr. T, Liberace, and Muhammad Ali at the first one.
And Cyndi Lauper. And Cyndi Lauper.
Hey, you know what? It's easier for me to roll that off of a tongue, okay? I know the girls just want to have fun, and some of the Mayhemers do too, but that wasn't part of my sample. But still, I mean, I'm just saying, you get the idea. They've always had this. It's a way for them to get attention, and it's working, and they're going to do it, and especially if they're really going to try to elevate SummerSlam to be a bigger event a la hopefully maybe a WrestleMania in the coming years. So there's that.
I think it helps that it's in New York.
Yeah, I think that's it too. So I'm wondering, well, it's been in LA for how long too, right? So
yeah, but LA. Granted, I'm biased on this, but New York and LA are different animals.
Exactly. Oh, certainly. But I think it was always a bigger. You know what? Let's hold this off. Maybe we'll get to this in a minute. I'm sure we're kind of diverting for the Raw talk. So let's go to.
That's because Raw wasn't that good.
I disagree. I wholly disagree.
All right, I felt Raw felt really like the last half hour of Raw was fantastic. The rest of Raw felt really long to me.
Well, yes, because it's Raw, and we started with Triple H in the ring recapping matches that we're going to see at SummerSlam and reminding us $9.99 and this 4-hour pay-per-view. Which even when he says that, remember how he said like, "I wish Raw wasn't 3 hours." I think he said SummerSlam was going to be a 4-hour event, and you read in his voice, "Oh man, we have to do 4 hours of freaking television again." Like that. I mean, I feel like that's a vibe where he's like, "I don't think it's a great idea, but this is what we're doing, and I'm the guy that gets to tell you about it on TV."
Well, technically, they're doing 5, Sorg.
I know,
6.
I know, and that has to be a hellacious schedule for those guys. I feel so bad for the commentators, everything else. But anyways, no. So you thought it was long. You thought it was. I mean, we do. They have long matches where I don't think they need to, and there isn't enough going on them. Although I think the pairings, a lot of stuff we saw tonight were good matches. Like there was no snoozers. I mean, I know we've been having kind of problems with the Sheamus Randy Orton problems, being like, "Ugh, here we go." I can't care about this, but they paired up with exciting people, and I thought we had some interesting matches out of that. Some funky things happening in some of those matches, but still, but it's also funny that we have both of those. And we had 2 Divas matches, and it felt like we had an 8-man tag, yet again, mind you, that had the Divas 3-minute spot.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's just funny how that works out.
I wish, just for once, we get a Randy Orton 5-minute match. Like, let's not have him on TV over a commercial break. How about that? Like,
yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know Jen Collins is going to disagree. We do not need Dean Ambrose talking for 35 minutes.
No, I don't think we do. Well, I don't think we do. I think it's entertaining. They're doing something with him. Well, sure. I'd rather see him in the ring, but I agree, and I don't want this buddy cop fun time with him and Roman Reigns to end. But no, I think as far as like Raws go, I think it was fine. You know, for build up to SummerSlam, they hit all the points. I'm agreeing with your points in the Hangout where it's like, no, actually, Eamon was more like these guys are touching each other so many times before they get the match that's official. It isn't special anymore, and it's not, and that's a problem. And as I was saying, it was like, yeah, we don't have jobber matches. It's not like we don't have more of a roster, or maybe we don't have that much of a roster because they're all getting used on superstars at main event, and we're just not seeing it, right?
But I mean, you don't even have to have jobber matches. You can have matches that have inherent stories in them, like. You put Team Kevin Owens with the New Day. Put him against against Cesaro and the Primetime Players. And have Kevin Owens be the one ducking Cesaro the entire match. You have something like that where they're in the same match. They're on opposite sides, but they don't touch. Because that's how you build it. Because you want to see heels get their asses kicked.
Exactly. I don't know. It's I think it's the way they write. I don't know. I don't know what it's something about the way things are shaped. I feel like you know, we know that Raw is being segmented by several writing teams and stuff. So I feel like they're getting handed this batch of people to lead to this match at SummerSlam. And it's like it's hard to outsource out of that storyline. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we're doing a thing with Wyatt and we're doing a thing with Reigns and Ambrose. Well, who can we have to do something different and maybe throw them in a 6-man or something like that? And, well, we had to borrow from this guy doing the storyline with Barrett over here, so we can't even snag Barrett the job to somebody, right? I mean, it's a weird political thing. I think it's not just like, well, why don't we just throw this guy in there? No, because it's like You know how like in a big corporate company where you can't make a decision without having several meetings that really don't go anywhere. I feel like that's how the booking on Monday Night Raw is at this point.
That's how the
And
booking's been for years.
you can't change the ship of this is these two guys going to SummerSlam because you have to file all your TPS reports in the booking room. You know what I mean? I think that's where we're at. And I think people are like, well, they booked the thing. I'm like, they can't. It's not like an indie show where there's one guy saying, he's over, do a thing. He's over, do a thing. I don't know if that's how they book, but like, okay, sometimes it looks like that's how they book actually. But anyways, from my experience, but I think not as an excuse, but I think like, if we're fans at this point, analyzing to this point, these kinds of shows, we should understand a little bit of the process. And so just kind of, why is this a thing that happens? I could do this so much better. Great. Let's hit you in there in a room with Vince McMahon and the guy that's pitching a Nazi storyline. So anyways, I don't know. That's just my kind of breakdown of that.
It just seems like the past couple pay-per-views, they've had the go-home show the week before the go-home show.
Right. And I think that happens a lot because of scheduling of whoever they get. For instance, Stephen Amell was last week, right? Or maybe they say, well, we got Stephen Amell last week because we're going to be in Minnesota and let's do this homecoming thing with Brock. I think it is a tragedy of scheduling.
I mean, I guess, but like Taker tombstoning Brock Lesnar again and leaving him laying and Brock not getting up right away, that doesn't really make me want to see the match because in theory, the Undertaker's the face here, right? Trying to get his revenge, trying to get his
anymore. I really don't know anymore. I think I think we can't go that because somebody's cheating. People are cheering one or the other, and honestly, Taker's kind of the heel here. I think
he was just a heel tonight.
I think he was a heel when he came out and interrupted his match at the pay-per-view. I think he's been, he's got a reason that in his head sounds right. But that makes a good heel, I think he plays the heel on this one. Also, I think it's very possible this is a Undertaker retirement match too.
No, definitely not.
You don't think?
No, he is having a WrestleMania match in Texas.
That's true. Okay.
Against Sting.
So
I would not be surprised. If the Taker Lesnar match is interrupted by a man called Sting, regardless of what the internet says.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, okay, the other thing that got signed up is
Ziggler and Rusev.
No, that's not what I was going for. I was going title for title, but still, okay. Ziggler and Rusev. This is the best relationship-based storyline over the past 3 months. I know it got kind of prolonged because of the injury to Rusev that I've enjoyed thoroughly this entire time. There's something going on. There's development. He's the jilted lover. He's got the Lana lookalike. They're calf fighting. Weird flag with his face on it, which I just noticed tonight because I was completely out of it last week when I watched Raw. Completely cool with me. I like it.
Yes. Lana, again, I don't really know who the face and heel is in that match, though.
I don't. Wait. No.
Yeah, no.
What?
Lana's been the one interfering in everything.
You know what? Tell you what, you can have your Rusev and Summer Rae or Summer Lana
They've just
camp,
been trying to live their life, Sorg.
And I'll have my Ziggler and Lana camp all day long, and we'll see what comes out on top on SummerSlam. Okay. You know what I love? About pro wrestling? We're kind of we get ourselves truncated in this idea of heel versus face, but you get to pick a team that you think is right. Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
And I love that.
That's pretty right.
Yeah. So at some points, yes, but at some points, I don't know if it should have gone that far on X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like it's enough, but not to that point where it's not like when the Divas were doing this a few months ago and just everybody was shitty. Well, and you're just like, why do I care? They're all catfighting. I don't get any of it, right? It's just ladies doing things that, and I'm going to go take a pee break, even though I know they can wrestle in it, but they're just not. But anyways, no, I think that's really interesting. Okay, let's go to. I want to get on this, and then we'll get out of here, and we'll talk more wrestling tomorrow night with ladies. Yeah, title versus title. Cena and Rollins. You knew Cena would be fine. He's got access to the best plastic surgeons in town. They put metal in his face. They've rebuilt him stronger, faster, prettier.
Sorg. This was already broke on the Tough Enough wrap up last week with myself and John Collins. I'm just saying. I know you've been busy at PodCamp.
I listened. No, and I listened. That was the one podcast you do. I did listen to last week.
But yeah, I mean, we all knew Cena.
No, I didn't miss it because I'm stacking up the Total Divas because I'm behind on Total Divas. And I listen, I have a process. I watch Tough Enough. I watch Tough Talk because that's usually more entertaining anyways. Then I watched you guys talk about the other shows. So Tough Enough is at least a 2-hour endeavor for me these days for what is really kind of a 40-minute show.
Yeah. I mean, and just think how long it takes me to make it. Yeah, but Cena came back and Cena cut a heel promo again. Like I don't know who I'm like, because Seth Rollins, he's a guy that's telling a lot of truths, and John Cena wasn't saying they weren't true. So who's the jerk? Like, it's such an odd concept that they can't seem to grasp.
Yeah.
Like I said on the Hangout, WWE heels are cowards. WWE faces are jerks. No one's a good person.
Hey, you know what? They're all jocks in a locker room when in the end of it, and they're not going to be your friend, wrestling fan.
No. You know who's going to be our friend, Sorg?
Who's that?
Bailey.
Bailey. Wait. What?
No, I wanted to say that I love that they announced the double main event for NXT TakeOver right before the Lesnar segment.
Good.
That's excellent placement. Mm-hmm. That is excellent placement because they usually don't plug NXT like they should on the main
There's
show.
no point plugging it early in the show. The people that have stuck around to that last hour are the hardcore wrestling fans.
Yeah.
They've stuck around for 3 hours. So those are the people to talk to.
And it was also right after the Sasha Banks match. Excellent timing. Excellent timing. By the way, NXT champ beat Divas champ tonight.
Did she come out with the belt? I missed. She had it in the back.
No,
she didn't, because she was holding it up in an Instagram in the back with the girls. So
yeah, I don't know why they don't let her.
It's weird. I think it's a political thing.
Myself. I think it's because they know the women's title looks better than the
that's true too. That's true too. And notice it's a women's title and it's a branding issue. Anyways, but no, I think Cena, Seth, I thought it was great. Somebody, I think one of the Carlins is tweeted. Best contract signing ever. I love the bits. I know Seth went on about da as he does. It's great. I just didn't pay attention tonight. But Cena coming out and referencing the Ric Flair, his mentor, but he wasn't Ric Flair's bitch thing was amazing.
I disagree.
Come on.
Cena saying he designed the 15-time shirt months ago, and they're just releasing it now, right before SummerSlam. If I were any fan, I would not wait until after SummerSlam. SummerSlam to buy that.
This isn't getting into SummerSlam predictions and stuff, but
well, I'm just saying no.
I'm saying what I'm saying is Seth goes over clean, and okay, it can't be clean because he can't go both belts.
Yep. Shenanigans.
Maybe he just does.
I think it's
but there can certainly be some major shenanigans. Because this is not the main event.
Yeah.
This is absolutely not the main event.
I think it is. It is, and we have an hour-long time limit, Sorg. I think they're going full Ring of Honor on it.
What?
Why do you think SummerSlam's 4 hours?
So we're going to have basically a Broadway Iron match between John Cena and Seth Rollins?
Yep.
Where are you getting your weed at?
I don't smoke, Sorg. I firmly believe this. I think that IC title match is going to be moved to the pre-show because they haven't announced the pre-show match yet. and no one cares about the IC title. And
nobody except for Dan Hooven, who's the world's biggest Ryback fan.
Nobody cares about the IC title.
Sorry, Dan.
All apologies to Dan Hooven. Nobody cares about it. You may like Ryback. That's fine. You don't actually care about the title, and I'll fight you if you say you do. Because we haven't had it for over 2 months, and no one's noticed. But yeah,
how many belts do we have? Wait, what is this? Interstitial, intergender? No, that's not right. What was the belt we had? Some guy named Mr. Perfect used to hold it, right?
Interstellar Sorg.
That needs to be right.
It's a Matthew McConaughey title.
That's
all right.
Okay, on that note, we'll talk more Raw, more wrestling, more SummerSlam, more fun tomorrow night. Live.WrestlingMayhemShow.com, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join us in the live chat. And we are also talking with the fellows from 80s Mania Wrestling. You can get on the iPhone and Android platforms. It's free. And it's beautiful. You should definitely go check it out if you're into wrestling, into kind of those manager apps. And it's a freemium kind of thing, but I've been kind of tinkering with it. I know Riz has been loving it. So we'll be talking to them about 11 p.m. Eastern on Indie Mayhem Show. So Mad Mike, he's at Mad Mike 4883. He's a proprietor of many of our add-on shows, I guess I can call them here at Wrestling Mayhem Show, the wrap-ups, the midweek war.
Sorg, we have a special one coming this week.
What do you got coming?
We will be recording on Thursday night an hour-long Lucha Underground Season 1 in review. So if you have any Lucha emails, please email them to goodtimes@wrestlingmayhemshow.com. I will make sure we read them on the Lucha Underground Season 1 wrap-up. We're going to have a star-studded cast, Sorg. We're going to have me. We're going to have Garza. We're going to have Bobby. We're going to have Matt Carlins. It's going to be great.
Yes, the many faces of Mayhem.
Yes, the many-faced god of Mayhem.
International superstars on the YouTubes.
And by the way, if Paul Heyman wanted to promote our podcasts, I believe he would sing, "My ears have heard the coming of the podcast of the Sorg."
I really hope that isn't copywritten. Like Happy Birthday style.
No, he wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't public domain.
Sure he would, because WWE has the money to pay for something like that. Anyways, that's enough of that. So that's a whole nother podcast. It's not the Legal Mayhem Show, although there's an idea. We know people. We know people who are wrestlers in the legal field. So,
and we can call David Otunga.
I'm sure we could. I don't know if he'll answer, but we can try calling him. But anyways, on that point, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Matt Sorgatron. Please check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com and all the other shows of geekery and other topics and some client stuff and all kinds of cool stuff. And if you want me to help you with a podcast, SorgatronMedia.com, IndieWrestling.us if you want to support indie wrestling and, by way, support us here on this podcast, and so many other things at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. For Mad Mike, I'm Sorgatron. We'll see you guys next time on the Hangouts.